Right, well, look, you're over the financial stuff, or we hope to be over the financial stuff. What's the next move?
Well, the next move is getting the whole world agreed on big changes. We've got President Obama coming in the United States of America. We've got the rest of Europe prepared to work with us on this, and we've got to make sure that we sort out, clean up the financial system. We've got to then get the world economy moving forward. That's really important to every homeowner, every saver here, every pensioner here. We've got to do it together. You've got to be prepared to take whatever action is necessary.
Why do you keep talking about everywhere outside of England? Isn't there a case of worrying about ourselves first of all? What is the ordinary man in the street got to look forward to now? What are we doing for him now? What are we going to do for him, his mortgage, her mortgage, whatever, you know, their jobs? What are we going to do?
The reason I mention the rest of the world is what happens in Britain can be magnified to benefit Britain many times over if you get other countries to do the same thing. What we're doing is we're going to help people with their mortgages to avoid mortgage repossessions. We're going to do what we can to help people move between jobs as quickly as possible and not do what happened in the 80s and 90s, just leave people isolated. Small businesses, we've got to get the cash flow to them, so we're announcing a number of things that will help small businesses actually keep going. There is a difficulty there. It's the good businesses we want to keep in business. What's happened is that trust has broken down in banks, and we've got to rebuild confidence.
You never thought you'd ever hear these words coming out of my mouth, but I actually sometimes admire the French, right? And because they kind of do what they want to do, what's good for them.
And so we will do.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, we should stop worrying about everybody else.
If you take the next year, however, you'll see petrol prices have come down. You'll see gas and electricity bills will come down. You'll see food prices will come down. You'll see interest rates have come down, so people's mortgages are cheaper. So a large number of people will have more money in their pockets. The VAT thing is part of that. We want to see the economic activity grow, and that is where we want to see it happening. When you've had a jolt like this, when you've had what has been a crash of the financial markets, you've got to do everything possible to move things forward. We can't just, as someone said, let the recession run its course. We've got to actually push things forward to the benefit of homeowners and businesses.
With this new fellow Obama, is it shoulder-to-shoulder stuff still, or are you going to be a little bit more thoughtful before we start jumping in and sorting out some of, you know, joining them for whatever reason?
Well, I think we'll work very closely with American people.
They care about us as much as we cared about them?
I think the interesting thing about what's happening in America is that they're realising more and more that they're part of the world. And sometimes
that's a miracle.
Sometimes Americans have you know, not taken on board the fact that other countries are really affected by actions that they're taking, and we've got to persuade them sometimes that they've got to be part of this international change. But if America acts, Britain acts, Europe acts, then you've got lots of people acting together.
France and Germany should keep their nose out of certain things, you know, and say the right things at the right time. But actually, when it comes to, you know, putting their hands on the table or dirtying their hands, they have this very clever way of backing off, whereas we seem to go gung-ho, steaming in there.
Well,
Is that going to be your policy?
You know, in the 1970s, we all had to come together. Now we've got to come together, and we've got to do it more effectively than we did then. And I think President Obama and the governments of Europe, you've got Europe and America prepared to work together in a way that probably wasn't true in the past.
Finally, we've got a euro at 1.16. I might not have to ask you the question soon, because if it gets to 1, then we're in the euro, aren't we?
No.
Really, we couldn't foresee a situation where the pound is below the euro, surely.
But I think the issue is a bit different. I mean, if you're tied into currency, you've got to do certain things. And we always took the view that there were certain things that would be a problem for the British economy if we were part of the euro. We keep reviewing it. We're not in principle against it, but we've got to look very carefully at what the benefits to Britain, as you would say.
I can still keep all my pound notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
My old pound notes and white fivers.
Absolutely, and you can use them to buy your Christmas presents this year and next year, and beyond.
I think what's come out of this is that some very plain speaking, in very simple terms, that the average fellow in the street is going to understand. So it's been very good and very informative. I hope it haven't been too tough on you.
I think your career as an interviewer is just beginning. So from the Apprentice to taking over any of the major interview programs, I think that's about it.
I think that we're lucky we're in this room and not in my boardroom. That's all I can say.